Do you have any confidence that justice was done today?
We have no idea. We were not present in the courtroom, so we have no idea what transpired in the courtroom.
No verdict for Michael Spavor today in China. He is the first of Canada's two Michaels to face the courts on charges of espionage, with the second trial for Michael Kovrig set for Monday. Now, these hearings are the latest developments in what has become a wider diplomatic dispute between Canada, China, and the United States. To put it all into context, let's bring in Abigail Bimman, who joins us from Ottawa. Abigail, thank you so much. You know, when you hear that clip, you get a sense of how little we do know, but do we have any sense of what unfolded at this trial?
Well, not at all. We know that it lasted about 2 hours. We know that it was a closed-door trial, which China is claiming is necessary because this was a national security case, but no media allowed, no public allowed. You see officials outside the courtroom pushing journalists away. And we know that not just Canadian diplomats, but a range of diplomats from a number of international allies, the UK, was out there, Germany, France, Australia. So all of these diplomats were there trying to gain access to the courts, which is something Canada has been pushing for a while. That was not permitted. We also do know that there was no verdict today, according to a Chinese court website. A date for that will be posted at a later time. So as you heard from the Canadian official there, really no idea what transpired in the courtroom.
All right, when you hear of the numbers for conviction rates, for example, it is dismal. What are we expecting? And I think I know the answer, but give us a sense of what people can expect in terms of the outcome.
Right. So in China, the conviction rate is higher than 99%. So most, but I'll say not all, but most experts who I've been speaking to about this are working under the assumption that that's really the only possible outcome here, a guilty verdict. Because this is a national security case, these men are facing espionage charges. That means that there is, a range of severity that the courts can apply in terms of an outcome, in terms of a possible consequence here. But it begins with years of jail time and goes all the way up to the death penalty. So a lot of people watching this and hoping for the best for these two men, but really no way to tell at this point, what happened in that trial, what was presented.
So, yeah, this case from China's perspective is centered around state secrets, but obviously the trial proceedings and really the treatment of the Michaels, so secretive as well. And embedded in all of this, of course, is politics. Canada is more or less stuck in the middle between the United States and China. Politics, obviously incredibly important. The timing is also important. Expand on that.
Right. Well, Jim Nicol, who you heard from earlier, said himself, standing outside that trial, that it was surprising. He used the word surprising in terms of this trial happening now. And that's because he said these men have been detained for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, this trial was announced. So depending who you speak to, there are a few different possibilities for that. One of the things that experts point to is this first meeting between the new Biden administration and the Chinese, which is happening now in Alaska. The Secretary of State is there meeting with the Chinese. So some believe China is trying to use this case as a bargaining chip of some kind. The U.S. has been supportive, or have said, publicly supportive of Canada's call to release the two Michaels. So we'll have to see where that goes in terms of timing. And we also saw a new statement from China's embassy here in Ottawa, released today, very strongly worded, and we've seen sort of an escalation in language as things have progressed, but a very strongly worded statement calling Canada hypocritical and arrogant, referencing the Foreign Minister Marc Garneau's comments about a lack of transparency in the case. And again, a reminder that the lack of transparency, those Canadian diplomats were not allowed into the courtroom. But China says that calling that a lack of transparency, calling the process a lack of transparency, is fact distortion. So we are expecting to hear from the Prime Minister later today. We'll see what type of language he chooses to use in this case.
Yeah, we are watching very closely. And of course, the trial for Michael Kovrig, the other Michael, is scheduled for Monday. Abigail, thank you so much for that update. Abigail Bimman joining us from Ottawa.